Well, hello Midway Sailors. This is my first time in this room since 1988, but I know it very well. This is actually Radio Central. This is actually identically the center of the ship, so if there's any kind of rolling or yaw going on in the ship, this is about as stable as it's going to be. Now, this is actually very similar to the stuff that I work, but this is actually like the pneumatic tubes that go to banks. This will go up to the bridge, and you send them through these little chutes, and they'll go in the tubes through the bank. This is what we call a Mod 28, and it's actually a 5-level Bado reader. And these are actually, this must be the Send archive, because you can actually read them. But I used to actually have to learn how to read all this stuff. That's a paper tape reader, a printer, and a keyboard. And it's funny, I'll show you sometime how this keyboard works, but there's nothing at all like the one we have now. You have to do a lot of work between doing a $sign and not a $sign. Now this one looks more real as the receive side, because you can see there's the garble, as we call it, right there. So they had a lot of authentication and stuff like that. But they're not going to let me pass this bar right here. This bar was not here, but people would come in throughout the ship and pick up the traffic right there and sign for it. That is a printer, believe it or not, connected to a Yuck 20, which is probably over here. And believe it or not, in 1986, this was all really high tech. But that's a printer that actually I used to have to go to school to learn how to run and fix. That is a screen that is actually, looks more like the Tack and Tell screen. And I used to actually, boy, that brings back some memories. I would almost guarantee that one's out of cess. But I spent many hours a day back in 1986 looking at a screen just like that. The actual Yuck 20 is above it. That is a 8-bit computer processor from the 1970s that back then it was very, very high tech. And you had the printer separate. That's the printer right over here. That's the printer. That screen over there is where, if you heard of Twitter, this system right here is the direct descendant, or ascendant, the ancestor of Twitter, because it was 140 characters back in 1983 using a format that the inventor of, the quote-unquote inventor of Twitter stole from open source and turning it into Twitter. But this is a original 140 character message-to-message system. We used to call it OTO, or operator-to-operator, but it's the same as tweets. And that's also used as the Tack and Tell system by the cryptologic technicians on board in a separate part of the ship. This is actually a really good vision of what that screen looked like. It's not on, so you're just seeing a reflection. And in the background there, is probably a lot of, nope, it's just more of the same. What we're not seeing is the transmitter receiver room, but that's, I'm sure, very close by, because I remember all that very well. And this is what we used to call a Mod 28, which was actually way older than the Mod 40. And I used to actually have to learn how to use those. And I'm sure if you look on here, you're going to see SES on here, somewhere. That's where I used to work. See, we had Strike, Camo, CAG, Supply, AIMD, Personnel, Metro Slacks. Oh, I'm so disappointed. Okay, here's your receiver uplink downlink room. That doesn't sound good. That sounds like the actual GQ. That's Morse code though. It sounds like general quarters. Beep, beep, beep. This is what we used to... This, ladies and gentlemen, back in 1986 was a very highly secured phone that we used for UHF and satellite communications. This is probably the most secure phone you're going to have of its kind in that era, and way more secure than what they're using now for your secure phones. This is the old stack of oh my gosh, URA 117s. Here's the 1051s, and there's actually something called an R390 if I can find them, which are even cooler. Spend a lot of time with this stuff. These are very, very high powered. I would say very high voltage, and this is actually, we had a step up, step down converter, and you would connect your satellite antennas, your Whiskey 3 or your line of sight number 1. You connect your satellite antennas or your line of sight antennas into these. So anytime the aircraft carrier is talking to its planes or to a satellite or anybody anywhere, other ships, submarines, whatever, what you have it would all happen from right here. That's pretty close to a tune. Boy, they really got that one good down. And you got to remember, all the Marines, all the security going on back in that time was all handled through this central center. I still don't see I see the 390s, but I don't see, here we go, maybe. 1051, there we go. That's the one that was really fun to work on. That actually is a heater, or it's a, I'm sorry, go ahead. I'm doing a big documentary on this thing, so I'm on my...
That's exciting.
I was on the ship for a long time, so...
You were on the ship?
Yeah.
Oh, stationed on the ship?
Yeah.
Oh, no kidding.
It's my